And that was everything. My father was like, if she can do this now, then this is the school you would graduate from. It's an absolute honor to stand here today, not just as a guest speaker, but as an old student who once sat in these same seats like you are today, unsure of what the future would bring. I am grateful for the opportunity to return, not just with stories, but with lessons, and most importantly, with proof that passion, when nurtured with discipline, courage, and consistency, can indeed become power. Let me take you back to 2010. I had just left secondary school, this great school, Solomon Grace Secondary School, full of fire and ambition. My dream was to study mechanical engineering at the Federal University of Ilorin. The JAM I wrote that particular year in 2010, I scored 217. And JAM's cutoff mark for Unilorin's cutoff mark that year was 220. So I was 3 marks short, just 3 marks short, but it felt like the world ended. While my mates had moved on, I stayed back home for a whole year. No admission, no clear step on what's next. But that particular pause was actually the beginning of a much bigger story. Something that happened at home, there was this power outage that blew the TV socket, and we had waited for the TV repair guy to come, but he didn't show up. So I picked up a small touchlight phone that had an inbuilt radio, an inbuilt FM radio, and that's how I discovered stations like Wazobia FM, Ray Power, Cool FM, and I became addicted to listening to the radio within that short time when the TV wasn't working. And in that silence, without even knowing, something was quietly taking root. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was passion finding me. Passion doesn't always arrive as a lightning bolt. Sometimes it tiptoes in quiet and uncertain and unexpected. Many of you already have what your heart beats for. Some of you want to do music, some of you it's tech, for some of you it's drawing, it's writing, it's gaming, it's solving problems, or even making people laugh. Passion is that thing that your soul gravitates towards when no one is actually watching. But here is an uncomfortable truth I want to tell you about passion. Passion alone is not enough. Let me be honest. Passion doesn't always pay bills. It doesn't always make sense to everybody. And sometimes the people who love you the most will try to talk you out of it. Not because they are wicked, to be honest, but it's because they are worried. And they will say things like, you need a real job. You can't survive doing this. This thing you are focusing on is not, there's no future for this. But the truth is, they are speaking from what they know, not what you know. So the real question here is it's not what they think, but it's actually, what do you think about it? When I eventually got into the university, I studied soil science and not engineering at the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. But something had already shifted. I found out that the school was starting a campus radio station. So I showed up nervous, shaking, and I told them that I think that I can. And that in itself had helped me go all the way down. Now, over time, I kept showing up after classes, during strike, during holidays. I interned at the Lagos Traffic Radio. It was an unpaid internship. I learned, I edited audios, I studied presenters, I shadowed engineers. I didn't just become a fan of the radio. I became a student of the craft. Now, that's what passion does. It pushes you to keep learning even when there is no applause. While I was still in school, I was at the campus radio station. I moved from the campus radio to OGBC, and from OGBC to Women Radio, and then I moved to a bilingual station in Ibadan. And now I'm currently with Blast FM, doing what I love and I know how to do best. Now, all of this actually started from a broken TV and a small phone radio. Now, here's the truth. Another truth that nobody tells you. You will stumble, you'll be criticized, and you will make mistakes. And yes, sometimes you would feel like giving up. But never let that stop you. When I first went live on radio, I had all kind of feedbacks. Some were saying, your voice is not good. Some said, this guy, you're not ready for it. Some gave good remarks. But you know what? I didn't allow the bad voices drown the good ones. I listened, I improved, and I kept showing up. And that exactly is what passion looks like to me. It is showing up when it's hard, and even when you doubt yourself. And that consistency started opening doors. Now, one incredible recent doors that was opened for me was last year. I got nominated to a full scholarship in Nairobi, Kenya. And someone had seen my work on radio and on social media, and they thought I was worthy enough. Traveled, all expense paid, for a program that changed the outlook of my career. Another moment is a show I used to do back in one of the previous stations I worked at. Even after I had left the station couldn't continue the program because the audience had tied the program to me. And that's what passion can do for you. It can build identity, it can build credibility, and also give you opportunities. Now hear this. The passion you have today may not be the same in the next 5 years. And that's actually very okay. You grow, you adapt, you evolve, and that's what life demands of you. I've learned audio production, I've picked up video editing, I've mastered the art of storytelling. And why did I do all of this? Because passion alone was not enough. I needed to add skills and I needed to add strategy. Now here are some questions I ask myself every day, even till now. How can I grow? How can I serve better? How can I keep learning? And one fundamental question I keep asking myself every time I feel like giving up is, am I doing everything humanly possible to be the best version of myself? Because the world is changing. AI is here. New industries are being born. And trust me, some industries are yet unborn that are going to take over the jobs that we have today. Now, let me share with you 3 powerful truths that I think I have learned over time. And I hope that this would help you understand how passion works. So even if you're trying to become a doctor, a designer, a DJ, a teacher, a TikToker, or a tech wizard, first thing you have to do is start with what excites you. Now, here's something most people would not tell you. The smallest spark can spark the biggest fire. Passion doesn't usually arrive with fireworks. It starts quietly as curiosity. What do you enjoy doing right now? Make a list of all the things that you enjoy doing. This was me in 2011, at home with no admission, no clear paths, just myself and my small radio phone. And I didn't know I was actually building a life in broadcasting. I just enjoyed listening to the radio, the rhythm, the voice, the connection, that little joy, that tiny pull, and I followed it. So when something excites you, even if it's very little, don't ignore it. Pay attention to those activities that make time fly, that gives you energy. It could be music, it could be fixing gadgets, it could be storytelling, it can be coding, it can be helping others, it can be organizing things, it can be even making people laugh. Whatever it is, lean into it. Not because you are sure of where it will lead you to, but because it sort of sparks a light inside of you. So please, do not ignore that light. You can start small, start scared, but start. Even if no one is clapping for you, what is most important is that you importantly believe in yourself. Number 2, turn your passion into discipline. Now here's where most people give up. They get that spark, but they don't build that fire. You see, passion isn't enough. Passion is the starting line. Discipline is what takes you to the finish line. Now let me tell you what I mean. I didn't just love radio. I studied it, I interned for free, I showed up when there was no money, no spotlight. I watched how professionals worked. I learned how to use audio editing softwares. I read books. I picked up video editing, sound engineering, social media growth strategies, and all of this was because I loved what I was doing. Now remember that talent is very common, it's everywhere, but discipline is rare. Discipline is showing up when it's hard. Discipline is improving even when nobody notices. Discipline is staying ready, so when opportunity knocks, you don't miss it. My dad usually say, opportunity is everywhere, looking for those who are ready. The world will reward skills, not just passion. So if you truly love something, invest in it. Take a course, watch tutorials on YouTube, which is the free university we have today. YouTube is your best friend. There is nothing you want to learn today that you cannot find a tutorial of that thing on YouTube. Ask questions and practice. So become so good that nobody can ignore you, and that will turn your passion into power. My very last point for you this morning is, let passion evolve. When I was your age, I thought I would be an engineer. But you know what? Life had other plans. I ended up studying soil science. I fell in love with radio. I added podcasting, and I built my own media consultancy. And that's how I got the opportunity to train other people. And I also had the opportunity to travel to various other countries, even to like Nairobi recently. And that's passion evolving. Now listen to me carefully. Whether you're 16, you're 17, you're 18, this is not your final version of you. Trust me, you're going to evolve into something much bigger than this. So don't panic, even if the plan change. Don't beat yourself up if your dream career shifts from being a doctor to being an architect, or whatever it shifts to. The key is to stay open, stay flexible, stay curious. Life will give you clues, and make sure you follow them. I'd like to quickly jump my script a little bit and move to parents. Now, parents and their guardians, allow me to take a moment to speak to you. I know that raising teenagers is not easy. I know, because I was once a teenager. And they are growing up in a world that is far more complex than the world that I grew in and the world that you grew in as parents. And in all of this, there's so much that is demanded of them. School, social media pressure, and the endless screen time that they now have access to. And they are trying to find themselves. So as your children step into the next chapter of their lives, your role as a parent has just started. It's not over. It's simply evolving. Now, passion doesn't just flourish in the classrooms or on stage. It grows best in the soil of support and understanding at home. So I have 4 things I would like to say to parents that you can help support your child as they discover and develop their passion. Number 1, see your child beyond the academics. Not every child fits inside the textbooks. Observe what excites your child outside of school. Whatever it is, it can be sport, it can be designs, it can be storytelling. You need to affirm this their gift. There's a very popular saying that passion often hides in plain sight, and a parent's recognition can be the first validation that a child needs. What a parent says to a child can either make or mar that child. The power of passion is often ignited when somebody says, I see this in you. And I hope that you as parents will be that to your child. Number 2 is encourage exploration and not perfection. Let your child try new things without the pressure to excel immediately. Support the messy middle, the hobbies they try and drop, the parts they explore and rethink. These detours will help shape clarity. Passion, not always discovered. Sometimes it stumbles upon your child. It's not something that they just say, I figured it out today. It's in doing something that you become better at something. Right, and last, my third point this evening would be a guide and not a commander. It's very hard for a lot of parents to do this, but offer direction and not dictatorship. Share your experiences and values, and I encourage every parent here to always find time to sit with their children, to share their personal experiences, either with work or with life. It might not make sense to your child now, but as they grow older, it begins to make sense to them. They begin to make reference to, my dad, my mom said this to me at some point, and it makes sense to them. So, passion thrives where freedom and trust exist. Always ask open-ended questions. So, what do you enjoy lately? What are the things that excite you now? You know, if no one could judge you, what would you want to do? That's a very open-ended question, and you might not exactly like the answer that your child will give. So help them connect the dots, but let them build the picture. Number 4 is invest in their growth. The best way to do this is to support your child with books, with mentorship, with tools, with programs, even if it's outside of what you are comfortable with. Maybe, for example, your child wants to study fashion design, or they want to just pick up fashion designing on the side, and you're not interested in it. At least support them by saying, you know what, I know someone that makes clothes. Maybe you can go and do a 2-month, 1-month internship. Support them. Whatever it is, no matter how small, to invest in your child's passion is to invest in their purpose. And to my graduating students, let these years be, and not to graduating students yet, to the parents, let these years be the journey you walk together with not with control, but with care. Because when your child finds their passion, what is very important is patient parenting, and that is very important to make them unstoppable. To the graduating class of 2025, I want to remind you this. You may not know the full picture yet, you may not have it all figured out, but if you keep showing up, if you keep learning, if you keep believing, your passion will lead you to places you never imagined. It led me here, back to where it all started, and hopefully someday you'll be back here as a voice of proof that dreams are valid. Now, don't chase what's trending. Don't chase what's trending. Chase what's true. And do whatever you want, and whatever you choose to do it with your heart, do it with fire, and do it with excellence. I always like to go back to the motto of the school, study to show thyself approved. Now, because passion, when nurtured, disciplined and refined, has the power to build nations, shape culture, and change life. So let your passion lead you today. Let it teach you. Let it transform you. Above all, let it become your power. Congratulations, class of 2025. The world is waiting for your spark. Go out there, show the world the power in your passion. Thank you very much.